Welcome to IRA's online classes. Now we have discussed the rules in the topic conjunctions. We'll go for an exercise on that topic. We'll try solving the questions based only on the rules that we have discussed. We'll go for some fill in the blank questions first, then we'll move on to spotting the and sentence improvement. The three types of questions in the grammar part. Come to the first one, understand the meaning, think about the rule, never miss any indicator while reading, that is of utmost importance. Indicators is of utmost importance. Come to the first one. She was intelligent, dash she was poor. There are two ideas in this sentence. She was intelligent is one idea. She was poor is the other idea. So we have two ideas here in this sentence. She was intelligent is positive. She was poor is negative. So we have one positive idea and one negative idea. And a positive idea and negative idea can be connected only by a contrast indicator. The options given are and but. And is a support indicator, eliminated. The answer must be but. She was intelligent, but she was poor. But contrast indicator connecting two contradicting ideas here. One positive idea and one negative idea. Come to the second one. He waited for me, dash I came back. He waited for me, dash I came back. We have two ideas in this sentence denoting time. Now meaning is to speak in a literal way, tell you in a literal way. Till the time I came back, he waited for me. So but till cannot be used because we have two ideas here. When there are two ideas in a sentence denoting time, we have to use until and not till. Until denotes time, unless is for a condition. In this sentence, we have two ideas denoting time, so it must be until. He waited for me until I came back. Come to the third one. The patient had died, dash the doctor came. The options are before, after. We have two ideas in this sentence. The patient had died is one idea. The doctor came is the other idea. And both the ideas are in the past tense. Had died is had plus V3, and had plus V3 is past perfect. The rule we discussed in the topic tenses regarding the usage of past perfect. When to use past perfect? When there are two actions in the past tense and only if there is a time difference, time gap between the two actions, the action that is completed first must be in the past perfect tense. So in this sentence we have two actions in the past tense and one action is in the past perfect tense. The patient had died is in the past perfect tense. So this must be the action completed first. Now we need to think whether the blank must be filled with before or after. The patient had died must be the action completed first. And this will remain the action completed first only if we go for the word before. The patient had died before the doctor came. So two actions in the past tense, time difference is there denoted by the word before. The action completed first is in the past perfect tense. Now the whole statement is grammatically correct. The patient had died before the doctor came. The rule regarding past perfect we have gone for in the topic tenses. Come to the next one. 5 years have passed, dash I left the college. The options are since, before. Have passed is have plus V3 and have plus V3 is present perfect. Dash I left the college. The subject here is I plus left is V2. Subject plus V2 is simple past. The idea before the blank is in the present perfect tense. The idea after the blank is in the simple past tense. The rule regarding the usage of since we discussed in the exceptions on tenses. When there are two ideas in a sentence, we have two ideas here. 5 years have passed is one idea. I left the college is the other idea. When there are two ideas in a sentence along with since, the idea before since must be present perfect or present perfect continuous, and the idea after since must be simple past tense. So in this case, in this sentence, the idea before the blank is present perfect, the idea after the blank is simple past. So undoubtedly, this blank must be filled with since. So 5 years have passed since I left the college. Two ideas along with since. Before since present perfect, after since simple past. The sentence is grammatically correct. Come to the next one. Neither the father Neither the father dash his son was arrested. The options are nor or. There is no much explanation required here. Either will be followed by or. Neither will be followed by nor. Either cannot be followed by nor. Neither cannot be followed by or. That is a rule we discussed in tenses, subject of agreement and conjunctions. Neither the father dash his son. Neither is there. Neither will be followed by nor. So neither the father nor his son was arrested. The rule regarding either or neither nor not only but also we discuss in subject of agreement give importance only to the second subject. That means the verb depends on the second subject. The second subject here is his son, singular. The verb in the sentence must also be singular. The verb here is was, singular. So the rule regarding subject of agreement is also completely fine. As said, we should think about all the rules and all the topics to get the answers. So neither the father nor his son was arrested. Come to the next one. Both Meena dash Veena are beautiful. And as well as the rule we discussed in the case of conjunctions, both cannot be followed by as well as, both will be followed by and. Now as I told you, both will be followed by and, both cannot be accompanied by not. In this sentence, both is not accompanied by not, that is completely fine. Both Meena and Veena are beautiful. The verb in this sentence is are, plural. And if the verb can be plural only if the subject is plural. It says both. The word both can be used only when there are two entities. We have two persons here. One is Meena, the other one is Veena. Both tells us that there are two entities. Two entities means the subject is plural. The verb must also be plural. Both Meena and Veena are beautiful. Now the sentence is positively charged. The meaning of this statement is Meena is beautiful. Veena is also beautiful. The statement is positively charged. Come to the next one. Although she works hard, dash she fails. I told you the rule regarding the usage although. Although can be followed by yet but not compulsory. So if although is followed by yet or not followed by yet, the sentence is grammatically wrong. But as we have options given here, but and yet, although can be followed by yet, so this blank must be filled with yet. Although she works hard, yet she fails. Although she works hard, she fails. Grammatically correct. Although she works hard, yet she fails is also grammatically correct. Although is a support indicator, contrast indicator, must always connect one positive idea and one negative idea. The first idea here is she works hard, positive. The second idea here is she fails, negative. So the concept regarding contrast indicators is completely fine, connecting a positive idea and a negative idea. So although she works hard, yet she fails. Come to the next one. Make haste, dash you will miss the bus. We have two ideas in this statement. Make haste is one idea. Make haste means like hurry up, make it quick. You will miss the bus is the other idea. So we have two ideas in this statement. Make haste, hurry up, be quick is positively charged. You will miss the bus is negatively charged. So we have one positive idea and one negative idea here. So this blank must be filled with a contrast indicator. Or is not a contrast indicator. Or is the same as either or. As I said, a boy or a girl means either a boy or a girl. Or either or is a support indicator. We need a contrast indicator here. The answer must be otherwise. I gave otherwise in the list of contrast indicators. So make haste, otherwise you will miss the bus. Now as I told you, the way you eliminate options in the case of mathematics using the charge, the same way you can eliminate options in the case of English using the charge, and that too with the help of the concept of indicators. Dash, there is life, there is hope. This is a proverb. Now a proverb, an idiom or a phrase cannot be questioned. Rules are not applicable in the case of a proverb, an idiom or a phrase. Because these three are what are inherent in the language. You should know the proverb. The correct proverb is, while there is hope, there is, it must be, where there is hope, there is life. Where there is life, there is hope. Where there is life, there is hope. That means where life is there, hope is also there. That means if you are trying for something, you should never surrender. You should never give up. We should try our best till the time we succeed. So where there is life, energy, enthusiasm, there is hope. So if I'm trying for something, trying to gain something, if I lose hope, I can never be successful. If I lose, I should take it as a first step towards success. That's the meaning of where there is life, there is hope. Where life is there, hope is there. This is a proverb in fact. Come to the next one. Dash, it is costly, yet we have bought it. Dash is costly, yet we have bought it. Yet will be preceded by although. I said although can be followed by yet. So yet will be preceded by although. Based on that option, the second option, if is eliminated, it must be although. Although it is costly, we have bought it. Now I told you, an idea can be negatively charged as well as positively charged. The charge of an idea depends on the context in which the idea appears. So based on the context, with the help of indicators, you must be able to identify the charge of every idea in a sentence. I give you many examples like this while discussing the concept of indicators. Now, although is a contrast indicator. So one idea must be negative, the other idea must be positive, undoubtedly. Although it is costly, yet we have bought it. In this context, it is costly becomes a negative idea. We have bought it becomes a positive idea. Contextual meaning and identifying the charge based on the context. So although it is costly, yet we have bought it. Come to the next one. Hardly had we reached the college, dash the bell rang. The two orders of hardly, scarcely sentences. Hardly had subject V3 followed by when. The other one is hardly did subject V1 plural followed by when. So hardly cannot be followed by than. No sooner will be followed by than. Hardly will be followed by when. So it is very clear that this blank must be filled with when. Now we'll see whether the whole statement is grammatically correct or not. Hardly had we reached a station. Hardly had. The subject here is V. Reached is V3 because there's nothing like had plus V2, had plus V3. So hardly had subject V3 followed by when. The bell rang. The bell is the subject. Rang is V2. It's ring, rang, rung. The sentence started in the past, ended in the past. Tense consistency is there. The structure of hardly sentence is completely fine here. This statement is grammatically correct. The next one. This is also a proverb. Cannot be questions. You need to know proverbs, idioms and phrases by heart. Phrases and all we'll discuss anyway. Idioms and phrases. Make hay when the sun shines is wrong. The correct proverb is make hay while the sun shines. That means what we have to do, we have to do it at the exact time. If we don't do it at the exact time, it may not be successful. So make hay while the sun shines. Come to the next question. Question number 13. She is not only laborious, dash naughty. Now, as you know, not only will be followed by but also. It's either will be followed by or, neither will be followed by nor, not only will be followed by but also. So she is not only laborious but also not. Come to the next one. Understand the meaning of it. The people know dash God is almighty. Now God is almighty is a fact. God is almighty is a fact. Every sentence must be grammatically correct, must make sense. If I say the people know if God is almighty, that becomes a doubt because if is for a doubt. This statement is not a doubt. This statement must be a fact because God is almighty is a fact. So based on that, if is eliminated, it must be that. The people know that God is almighty. You should not touch the electric wire, dash you are careless. Understand the meaning. You should not touch the electric wire if you are careless makes sense. Now, you should not touch the electric wire if you are not careful is the same as if you are careless. So if you are careless, you should not touch the electric wire. You should not touch the electric wire unless you are careless. Unless you are careless does not make sense here. You should not touch the electric wire if you are careless. You should not touch the electric wire unless you are careful. Unless is the same as if not. So if you are not careful, you should not touch the electric wire. The same as unless you are careful, you should not touch the electric wire. So you should not touch the electric wire if you are careless. That means if you are careless, you should not touch the electric wire. So unless does not make sense in this sentence, it must be if. You should not touch the electric wire if you are careless. Come to the next one. No sooner did the students see the teacher dash, they started running to their classroom. Now, as we discussed, no sooner will be followed by than. Hardly and scarcely will be followed by when. No sooner will be followed by than. So undoubtedly the answer must be then. Now we discussed two orders of no sooner sentences. One is no sooner had subject V3 followed by than. The other one is no sooner did subject V1 plural followed by than. These are the two orders of no sooner sentences we discussed. Come to the statement. No sooner did the students see the teacher, no sooner than did, subject is the students, see is V1 plural, it's always did plus V1 plural, no sooner will be followed by than they started running to their classroom. The subject here is they plus started is V2, the sentence started in the past, ended in the past, tense constancy is there. No sooner did subject V1 plural followed by than. The structure is also completely fine. Now this sentence is grammatically correct. The same idea in the no sooner had form becomes no sooner had the students seen the teacher. See is V1, saw is V2, seen is V3. So no sooner had the students seen the teacher than they start running to their classroom is also grammatically correct. The same meaning but expressed in two different forms. Come next one. The thief ran away, dash, he should be caught. The options given her, lest the thief ran away, lest he should be caught or unless he should be caught. We have discussed this rule, lest will be followed by should. This is a rule we discussed. Lest will be followed by should. Now in this statement, Now in this statement, lest, as you know, the contrast indicator lest will be followed by should. In this statement, we have should, and should will be preceded by lest. So unless is eliminated, the answer must be lest. The thief ran away lest he should be caught. Lest followed by should. This statement is grammatically correct. Come next one. Dash you come, I shall go. Dash you come, I shall go. If is a cause and effect indicator. I gave you a list of cause and effect indicators. Though is a contrast indicator. Now, a contrast indicator always connects to contradicting ideas. One positive idea and one negative idea. You come is positive. I shall go is also positive. So, a contrast indicator can never connect to positive ideas. Based on that, though is eliminated. Now, we have only one option left, that is if. Now, we'll see whether this statement is grammatically correct or not. If you come is a conditional sentence because it starts with if. If you come means you did not come, you're not coming now, you will come. That's the meaning. So if you come means the if clause talks about an action, the future. The first rule we discussed in conditional sentences, the whole statement must be in the future tense. Only then there will be tense constancy. I shall go, shall is future. So the first rule of conditional sentences is completely fine. Now this statement is grammatically correct. Come next one. Either you dash your sister has done it. As you know, either cannot be followed by nor, neither cannot be followed by or. It's always either or, neither nor. So undoubtedly, without discussing much, we know that the answer must be or. Either you or your sister has done it. The rule regarding either or, neither nor, not only but also we discuss in subject-verb agreement, give importance only to the second subject. That means the verb depends on the second subject. Come to the same statement. The second subject here is your sister. Singular, so verb must also be singular. The verb here is has, singular. That concept is also completely fine. This statement is grammatically correct. Come next one. He would rather die dash beg. The options are than, but. The usage is rather than. I gave in the list of contrast indicators. Rather than, rather cannot be followed by but. It is rather than, other than. So he would rather die than beg. Rather will be followed by than, because usage is rather than. We'll go for something on spotting the error. We'll see which part of the sentence contains an error. If there's no error, the answer must be the last option. You must either be regular with your studies and study for a longer period before the examination. And as you know, either cannot be followed by and, either will be followed by or. That is the error. So the error is in part C. So in fact, the correct sentence must be, you should either be regular with your studies or study for longer period before the examination. The rule regarding either or neither nor not only but also we discuss in conjunctions. When there is only one action related to two entities, either or must connect those two entities. When there are two actions, either or must connect those two actions. We'll check whether that rule is completely fine in this sentence or not. You must either be regular with your studies or study for longer period before the examination. We have two actions here. Be regular with your studies is one action. Study for longer period is the other action. We have two actions here. So either or must connect those two actions. You must either be regular with your studies is the first action, or study for longer period is the second action. Either or is connecting the two actions, so that concept is completely fine. Now this statement is grammatically correct. The error in the given statement is in part C. The next one. Scarcely had I arrived than the train left. Hardly and scarcely cannot be followed by than. Hardly and scarcely will be followed by when. That is the rule. So we got the answer. The error is in part C. It cannot be than, it must be when. Hardly had I arrived when the train left. The two orders scarcely, hardly or scarcely means the same. Now the two orders of scarcely sentences are scarcely had subject B3 followed by when. The other one is scarcely did subject B1 plural followed by when. We'll see whether the given statement now is grammatically correct or not. The structure. Scarcely had I arrived. Scarcely had, the subject is I plus arrived is V3 here because had plus V3. So scarcely had subject V3 followed by when. The train left. The train is the subject, left is V2. There's nothing like subject plus V3, subject plus V2. The whole statement is grammatically correct. Now the same idea in the scarcely did form becomes, scarcely did I arrive when the train left. Scarcely did I arrive when the train left. Scarcely did subject V1 plural followed by when. Getting it? The next one. The reason why she was rejected was because he was too young. I told you about the concept called redundancy, repetition. In a sentence, there should not be more than one word conveying the same meaning. If it is there, it becomes an error with redundancy. The reason why she was rejected was because she was too young. It's she. The reason why is a cause and effect indicator. Because is also a cause and effect indicator. We have two cause and effect indicators in this statement. So the error in this statement is with redundancy. It's she. I repeat, the reason why is a cause and effect indicator. Because also a cause and effect indicator. Error in this statement is regarding the concept called redundancy. Now we have to go from the left to the right. Anyway, we'll move only from the left to the right. And as I told you, in the case of spotting the error, our task is to find out which part contains the error. So going from the left to the right, the reason why she was rejected, up to there is no error. Then if I say because, part C doesn't go with the rest of the sentence, so error is in part C. That means in this case, because is not required. The reason why she was rejected was she was too young. The reason why is a cause and effect indicator. And every cause and effect indicator must connect a reason and a result. If the reason is positive, the result must also be positive. If the reason is negative, the result must also be negative. We'll see whether that concept is completely fine in this sentence or not. The reason why she was rejected was she was too young. What is the reason here? She was too young is the reason here, the cause, and she was rejected is the effect or the result. She was rejected is negative. That means here the result is negative. If the result is negative, the reason must also be negative. Come to reason here. She was too young. I told you too is used in a negative sense. Too along with an adjective is used in a negative sense. Too good, too smart, too beautiful, all this negative. Too innocent. Now people who are too innocent must be careful about. They'll try to cheat us. They'll be cunning. Too innocent, too intelligent, all these are negative. Too means something that is unnecessary, extra. So too smart is over smart. So she was too young is negative. The reason is negative. The result is also negative. The concept of cause and effect indicators is completely fine. The only thing is, in this statement we have an error with redundancy, and the error is in part C. Come to the next one. Most of the popular teleserials are not only illogical in their storyline, but also crude in their presentation. Not only will be followed by but also. Now in this statement, not only is followed by but also. That concept is completely fine. Most of the popular teleserials are not only illogical in their storyline, but also crude in their presentation. We have only one verb here, that is are. There's only one verb are, and related to two entities. The two entities are, one is crude in their storyline, other one is illogical in their storyline, the other one is crude in their presentation. So one verb, two entities. So not only but also must connect those two entities. The rule regarding not only but also either or neither nor we discussed. Most of the popular teleserials are not only illogical in their storyline. It's the first entity. There's no verb here. It's the first entity. Verb here is are. Right. But also crude in their presentation. This is the second entity. Crude in the presentation, there is no verb here actually. Right. So that's an adjective, crude. Illogical is also an adjective. So one verb, two entities, not only but also is connecting the two entities. That concept is also completely fine. Not only followed by but also. This sentence is completely fine. There is no error in this sentence. The answer must be option D. Most of the popular teleserial is a wrong usage. Most of the popular teleserials. Most of the boys, most of the girls, most of the students, most of the books, etc. So most of the popular teleserials are not only illogical in their storyline, but also crude in their presentation. The answer is D. There's no error here. Come next one. Though I had been his friend for quite a long time, I refused to help him because his ill nature. Because his ill nature is wrong. It must be because of his ill nature. Because his ill nature is a wrong usage. Because of his ill nature is a correct usage. There is in part C. Now we'll read the statement once again and we'll find out the other concepts there in this sentence. Though I had been his friend for quite a long time. Though is a contrast indicator. A contrast indicator must always connect one positive idea and one negative idea. You know that. The first idea here is I had been his friend for quite a long time. Positive. So first idea is positive. The second idea must be negative. I refuse to help him is negative. So concept of contrast indicator is completely fine. Connecting a positive idea and a negative idea. Because of is a cause and effect indicator. Must connect a positive reason and a positive result, or negative reason and a negative result. The two ideas that because of connects here are, one is refuse to help him, the other one is his ill nature. What is the reason here? His ill nature is the reason here, the cause of the reason. I refuse to help him is the effect of the result. His ill nature is negative. So here the reason is negative, and if the reason is negative, the result must also be negative. In this case, the result is also negative. The concept of cause and effect indicators is also completely fine. All these concepts are satisfied. Because his ill nature is a wrong usage, it must be because of his ill nature. The answer must be option C. Getting it? The next one. Now one more concept that comes here. For quite a long time is period of time, duration. And in the case of period of time, with period of time we have to use for, the preposition for, what we discussed in tenses. So for quite a long time is a correct usage. For appears in two categories, and those two categories are the perfect and the perfect continuous categories of all the three tenses. Though I had been his friend, had been is had plus V3. I told you after has, have or had, V3 must be there. Main verb in the third form, past participle form. If there is no main verb after has, have or had, then been will act as a main verb in the V3 form. That's what we discussed in tenses and subject agreement. Been acts as a main verb in the V3 form. So had been is had plus V3. Had plus V3 is past perfect tense. For can appear in past perfect tense. So that concept is also completely fine. The sentence started in the past, ended in the past, tense consistency is also there. All these concepts are completely fine. Because his ill nature is wrong usage, that is the error. It must be because of his ill nature. The answer is part C. The next one. He has traveled all over the world, yet he speaks several languages fluently. Now, as I told you, once you correct a statement, the whole sentence must make sense. He has traveled all over the world, yet he speaks several languages fluently. We have two ideas in this sentence. He has traveled all over the world is one idea. He speaks several languages fluently is the other idea. So we have two ideas in this sentence. He has traveled all over the world is positive. He speaks several languages fluently is also positive. We have two positive ideas in this sentence. Yet is a contrast indicator. I gave in the list of contrast indicators. A contrast indicator cannot connect two positive ideas. A contrast indicator must always connect one positive idea and one negative idea. The two ideas in this sentence are positive. So in this case, we cannot go for a contrast indicator. That is the error. We have to go for a support indicator. So in this case, the error is in part B. And in this context, we cannot use yet, we have to use and. And is a support indicator connecting two positive ideas in this statement. So correct sentence must be, he traveled all over the world and he speaks several languages fluently. Getting it? Right. So the error is in part B. So understand the meaning and meaning of every sentence and the charges of the ideas in the sentence. I humbly implode means requested. I humbly implode no other friend of mine but Arun for success. Now here, we discuss this rule towards the end of conjunctions, right? Other will be followed by than, and the same idea can be framed using but. She is no woman but she is no girl but my sister. She is no girl but my sister means she is my sister. The same idea can be framed in the other than form as she is no other girl than my sister. She is no other girl than my sister. She is no girl but my sister mean the same. She is no other girl than my sister means she is my sister. Similarly, she is no girl but my sister also means she is my sister. So I humbly implored no other friend of mine but. Other cannot be followed by but, other will be followed by than. That is the error. So the error is in part C. So correct sentence here must be, I humbly implored no other friend of mine than Arun for success. The same idea in the but form becomes, I humbly implored no friend of mine but Arun for success. That is also completely fine. The same idea expressed in two different forms. Going from the left to the right, the error is in part C. The next one. Despite, it's despite. Despite my sincere advice, both Kiran and Tarun have not submitted applications before the stipulated time. As we discussed in the rules, as we discussed in the rule regarding the usage of both. We have gone for the rule regarding usage of both. Both will be followed by and. Now in this sentence, both is followed by and. That is completely fine. Then we discussed both cannot be accompanied by not. Now in this case, both is accompanied by not. Both cannot be accompanied by not. So we got the answer. The error is in part C. Now as I told you, there is no need for us to frame the correct answer. Our task is just to find out the answer. But here in our sessions, we will frame the correct answer for you to understand how to frame sentences using different usages, different words. Despite my sincere advice. Despite is a contrast indicator. Must connect one positive idea and one negative idea. The first idea here is my sincere advice positive. Now in the second idea, if I remove not, both Kiran and Tarun have submitted applications positive. A contrast indicator can never connect two positive ideas. So despite my sincere advice, the first idea is my sincere advice positive. The second idea will be both Tarun and Kiran have submitted applications positive. That is also positive. A contrast indicator can never connect two positive ideas. So to make the given statement grammatically correct, anyway we have to change part C. I say part C must be changed this way. Despite my sincere advice, neither Kiran nor Tarun, neither nor rule is focused only on the second subject. The verb depends on the second subject. The second subject here is Tarun, singular, so verb must also be singular, has submitted applications before the stipulated time. Neither Kiran nor Tarun has submitted applications means Kiran did not submit his application, Tarun also did not submit his application, negatively charged. Now the concept of contrast indicators is completely fine. Despite my sincere advice, neither Kiran nor Tarun has submitted applications before the stipulated time. Despite is a contrast indicator. The first idea here is my sincere advice, positive. The second idea here is neither Kiran nor Tarun has submitted applications, negative. The concept of contrast indicator is completely fine. Now the whole statement is grammatically correct. Either or is positive, neither nor is negative. I told you when we went for the rules. Come to the next statement. He had been serving the nation in different capacities as long as he attained 80 years of age. Now the meaning of this statement is till the time. Till the time. The meaning must be till the time he attained 80 years of age, he had been serving the nation in different capacities. That must be the meaning. He had been serving the nation in different capacities as long as he attained 80 years of age does not make any sense. Every sentence must make sense. As long as he attained 80 years of age does not make any sense here. So the error in the statement is in part C. Now we'll think how to make this sentence grammatically correct. I told you the meaning of the statement is till the time he attained 80 years of age, he had been serving the nation in different capacities. We have two ideas in this statement. The two ideas here are, one is he had been serving the nation in different capacities. The other one is he attained 80 years of age. We have two ideas in this sentence denoting time. As we discussed in conditional sentences, when there are two ideas in a sentence denoting time, we have to use until. Until should be used when there are two ideas denoting time. Till cannot be used. I told you till just to make you understand the meaning of it. Till the time he attained. So we have two ideas in this sentence denoting time. We have to use until. So instead of as long as, in this sentence we have to go for until. Now we'll see whether the whole sentence makes sense or not. He had been serving the nation in different capacities until he attained 80 years of age. That means till the time he attained 80 years of age, he had been serving his nation. Now the sentence makes sense. Now the whole statement is grammatically correct. The sentence started this way. He had been serving the nation, past tense. Ended this way. He attained 80 years of age, past tense. Started in the past, ended in the past. Tense constancy is there. Now the statement is grammatically correct. Come to the next one. There is a beautiful and big house in the center of the town. I told you the rule regarding and in subject verb agreement. And is a conjunction. When and connects to similar entities, the subject is singular. When and connects to different entities, the subject is plural. Singular in the sense the principal and teacher. The principal and teacher means and is connecting to similar entities. There's only one person here. The same person is principal as well as teacher. The principal and the teacher means and is connecting two entities. There are two persons here. One person is principal, other person is teacher. Come to the statement now. That concept comes here because we have and in this statement. There is. The verb in this sentence is singular. If the verb is singular, the subject must also be singular. Subject verb agreement. There is a beautiful and big house means how many houses are we talking about here? Only one. Because the article a is used only once. If it is a beautiful and a big house, a beautiful house and a big house means there are two houses. Here a is used only once, so and is connecting to similar entities. So how many houses are we talking about in this sentence? Only one house. And the same house is beautiful as well as big. The same house is beautiful as well as big. Only one entity. The subject of this sentence is singular. And if the subject is singular, the verb must also be singular. The verb in the sentence is singular. The rule regarding subject verb agreement is completely fine. There is a beautiful and big house in the center of the town. There is no error in this statement. The whole statement is grammatically correct. Got it? The next one. We didn't get wet as we took our umbrellas. We didn't get wet as we took our umbrellas. As is a cause and effect indicator. Must always connect a reason and a result, and it must be a positive reason and a positive result, or negative reason and a negative result. We have two ideas in this sentence. The first idea here is we didn't get wet. The second idea is we took our umbrellas. As a cause and effect indicator is there, one idea must be the reason, the other idea must be the result. What is the reason here? We took our umbrellas is the reason here. We didn't get wet is the result here. We took our umbrellas, negative, positive, positive. There's no negative word in this statement, so this idea is positive. That means the reason here is positive. If the reason is positive, the result must also be positive. Come to the result here. We didn't get wet, positive. So the concept regarding cause and effect indicators is completely fine. Connecting a positive reason and a positive result, completely fine. That concept is okay. We didn't get past tense. Did is past tense. The sentence started in the past. The whole statement must be in the past tense. Only then there will be tense constants. We didn't get wet as we took our umbrellas. Took is also past tense. The sentence started in the past, ended in the past. Tense constancy is there. The whole statement is grammatically correct. There is no error in this sentence. We didn't get wet as we took our umbrellas. The next one. The magazine covers everything from politics until what's happening in Bollywood. I told you the simple reason I give. As I said, from will be followed by to. Between will be followed by and. From will be followed by to. From cannot be followed by until. So we easily, based on a simple rule, we got the answer. The answer is part C. The error is in part C. It cannot be until, it must be to. That is one reason. Then I told you, until can be used when there are two ideas in a sentence denoting time. This sentence does not denote time in any way. As it does not denote time, we cannot use until. That is another reason to say that the error is in part C. A simple rule is from will be followed by to. So this statement must be, the correct sentence must be, the magazine covers everything from politics to what's happening in Bollywood. What apostrophe S, what means what is happening in Bollywood. Now the whole sentence is grammatically correct. Then the given statement, the error is in part C.